Peace.
Peace.
This is Joshua Miller Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real2reel360. K-Wise.
Peace, God.
Bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real2reel360 show. Let's get it in.
We do the knowledge and wisdom so you can understand. Real360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to born. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace, peace, true indeed. It's the G.O.D. It's the DJ K.Y. Zala, a.k.a. Kato, the Black Superhero. Welcome you once again to another show of the Real2reel360. Once again, peace to Allah's 5% nation of gods and nurses. Peace to all the human families of the planet Earth. We got a good one for you this afternoon. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, my brother in God, none other than the G.O.D. himself, Joshua Melala, a.k.a. Mr. Ph.D. himself. Peace to the God.
Peace, peace, peace to all the gods and earth. Peace to the universe. You know what I'm saying? Peace to all our followers and friends. Everybody who's been tuning in to Real2reel360 since day one. And the ones who are just now getting hipped on to what we're about. Today's show is about this brother who has grown in the entertainment business and is growing in the entertainment business, striving from being an MC, a lyricist, to becoming a music producer, to a filmmaker. You know, it's various different avenues that this brother has traveled and very different lanes. And all those lanes he made for himself. Nobody gave him a handout. Nobody did anything. He worked and made things happen for himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to come on and get your hands together and welcome my brother, Bill Biggz, in the building.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace to the God.
Peace. How y'all doing today?
Man, we good. I wanted to say Laquan Universal, but that's something totally, you know what I mean?
Peace, peace. Well, if they don't know, my name is Laquan Law, a.k.a. Bill Biggz. Yes, yes. And we feeling great on this wisdom cipher. They all being born to wisdom. So, yeah, God, how y'all doing?
Man, you know, we keep that truth on the square, baby. That's all we do. Keep that truth on the square.
Elevation, God. You know,
that's it.
Let's part.
I want to people to get like a little glimpse of who Laquan is. You know what I mean? What was your journey? I want to touch on the knowledge of self and the things that you're doing with the Universal Parliament as well, far as bringing it virtual. So can you address like how you got your knowledge, where you get your knowledge from, and how has knowledge helped you on your journey?
Well, we came up together. So, and you were the first person in Roosevelt on our block because you lived around the corner from me, and you were like the first reflection that I got to see hands-on of being what a young guard was. And so with that being said, coming from a strict religious family, my family. So
right.
Coming from that type of background, I was always intrigued with Black empowerment. And I didn't see that when we would go to my family's Jehovah's Witnesses. So I didn't really see that when we would go to the Kingdom Hall. And all we saw was images of other, you know what I mean? And right. So when I saw you, and seeing the power of the young God speaking mathematics, I was like, I gotta have it. This is something that I need. So you kind of sparked that energy for that journey. And then of course I got my education from Shandu, Divine. We walked with Divine Prince, brothers like Bishmi, Rashallah, Tislam. I mean, the list goes on and on. We had a community, and everybody was everybody's brother's keeper. we all maintained each other and kept each other on point. So that kind of sparked, you sparked it, and then it just grew from there.
Indeed.
Well, it is like with our journey together, I don't, a lot of times, we spark each other. We sparked each other. So being like, we wasn't street kids, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell the world that in the beginning, we wasn't street kids. We wasn't on the block. We wasn't this, that, and the third. We was little youngins, trying to figure our way. But as you have grown with this knowledge, I like to tip my hat to you, because you've done a lot of great things. And recently, especially during the pandemic, you stepped up with the God Unique, and y'all made the virtual parliaments. How did that come about?
I was building with Divine Prince, and there was a void for us having our own official website. Now, this is before I actually started building with Unique, because Unique already had a website in place. I had built one, and he had one in place. So instead of us going left or right, we just said, let's bring it together. We'll add on together. And then the God wanted to make sure that I was on point with my tech knowledge. And once I showed and proved, it was like, God, you take over that. And we knew that there was a void for that. So I just started putting 5% content on it. Like my vision for that is to eventually, for us to have our own type of Facebook God book. You know what I mean? Where we could just go on there. You could get lessons. You could build. You can find out what's going on in the nation. You can see videos like Real2reel360. You can, you know what I mean? So the information is there.
Right. Now, the thing was, did you have any apprehension? Did you get any pushback behind some of the websites? And because I see that there's a lot of questions on the website. Are brothers able to access lessons on the website?
If they look, the whole thing is you can, if it's at your fingertip and it's there, God. You go into the forums, you have to sign up to the website. So you can't just go on there and look for material. Otherwise, it won't be visible to you. So you have to go and you have to sign up, which is important. If you're a part of this nation, you need to set up a profile. You need to put your picture there so we can now identify our brother. If we can't contact them, if I'm in a certain region, I can, I know the God is over here. Or I know the earth is over here. I got refuge somewhere if I need to, build, or I might need some assistance or something. Not necessarily, financial or anything, but it might be, God, I need directions, or what's a good restaurant around here to eat, or, God, can you point me in the direction for Airbnb? That's what it's there for. It's for us to be able to come together and communicate and find out, who your brother and sister are and is.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a beautiful situation. And like I said, I'm enjoying seeing your growth, and I enjoyed spending the time with you down in Now See when the little bit of time we were together.
Indeed.
Because that's like rekindling old friendship, old brotherhood from Sandbox days. Now, the question I have is like, a lot of people don't know that you were an MC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you used to do shows. You and the God Justice did a couple of shows out in Medina. Y'all got a little mixtapes and stuff going on.
Right.
And how did you get into music?
Back then, this is the beginning of the crack era, I want to say. Mm-hmm. In Roosevelt, hip hop was, we had Public Enemy and things were starting to come out. And I happened to be, being God, how we used to do. We would walk from one end to the next end. We walk Freeport, Hempstead. And you never know who you might bump into or who you might run into. You wearing your universal crown. So brothers, if they see that, they're going to stop. Well, that's the God. Even if they didn't know you and you didn't know that, brother, that's how they would identify who's who. So in the process of doing that, I ran into Taheen, who y'all know is Busta Rhymes. I really wasn't into the music, but I was, I was in the streets and I was homeless at that particular time. So he took me in with his family, and I started to see the music then, but I really didn't take it serious. Like, I seen how they was taking it serious, him, Brown, and Dinko, and I just really wasn't, I was too busy running them streets. So I seen how they was putting a dedication, going to the studio, and Shamello used to always be like, rest in peace to Shamello. He used to always be like, yo, God, come to the studio. I ain't got no time for that. And, over a period of time, life goes on. A couple of my relatives passed away, and they left some equipment. My father gave me this equipment, and that was my first chance for me to actually start to be hands-on with the music. And then once that, I kind of got the bug. I started rhyming because, it's hard to follow after Bus. He was nice then.
Right.
So, me rhyming, I always never thought I was nice enough, but I developed, started challenging myself in little battles. I would say certain rhymes and catch the oohs and the ahs, and then after that, it was like, all right, it's time to really get serious. And in that process, you moving around, you going to places like the Tunnel and all these other places where all these MCs are gathered. You traveling from Hempstead, Queens, Brooklyn, just to be in ciphers, to battle, and you put yourself out there. And I got nice, had a few deals on the table, and I always kind of got in my own way back then as young, you know what I mean, and not thinking and doing what I needed to be doing. You get one positive thing happen and you go mess it up by doing something negative. And so, I was going through those little ciphers, and eventually I got it together, God, as we see here, I got it together.
Like I say, we always talk about like how we go back, and I'm saying that I love the growth and development, the conversations, the bills, because a lot of people don't know, like, Roosevelt is 1 square mile. So, right. You know what I'm saying? You take 2 steps, you went from the east side of Roosevelt to the west side. It just wasn't that big. But I would travel from where I lived at to where you was at so we could match and build with one another and sharpen each other up.
Right.
And to watch how you've grown mathematically, how you've grown musically. I saw it when you left New York and you went, out to Lynchburg, VA, and you got a team together out there of cats who were MCs.
Right.
How did that come together with those brothers, to gather that team?
Well, that was it too. Like I said, I was getting into a lot of trouble in New York, and it wasn't happening for the music for me there. And I had met my Earth Now, and she was in Lynchburg, so she was like, "I'm not moving back to New York. So if we're gonna take this any further, you're gonna have to come south." And we have a brother in common, Shaquan. Shaquan, my right hand. So Shaquan was like, "Yo, God, you one of those brothers that could go anywhere. You can make it anywhere. You need to get the hell up out of here because you ain't doing nothing here." And I got nothing but love for New York. But when you go and you start traveling to these other states, you start seeing things in a whole nother light. And so, from a brother who never left, how it was for us, New York. That's it. There is no other place until you leave. And then it was like, wow, I could see the stars for real. There's no smog. Right. Man, this is beautiful. And so I went to VA, and one of the first brothers I met was Glock George Justice. And I used to invite brothers to the crib, and I was trying to build a team from even then. And it's a culture shock, because what we like and grow up on ain't what they like and what they grew up on.
Right.
so they rhyme with a different cadence. They, you know what I mean? And so I'm drilling on them on how it needs to be done. Like it's got to be done this way because this is how it's done. And you know, and it took me a minute to learn how, you know, to accept how to fuse it together so it could work. But you know, George was one of the first ones, and then once that happened, brothers started to gravitate because you know I always left myself open. You can come to the crib. I always invited that situation for brothers who and sisters for that matter who they had some talent. I got a studio. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we can make happen, and that's actually where the first idea of making videos happen because I seen a brother down there doing it. And I was like, wow, he just went and got a camera. And, you know, we grew up around technology. My father had a camera in the house way back then. We had a Commodore 64 and things of that nature. So we, you know, I always had that development of, yo, let me get down here. I'm down here. Let me give me a little Just Cipher Born. Did that job. For those who don't know, I got me a nice little job. Now I'm working and I can afford, plus my earth is working. We work moving as a unit. And now I'm starting to enjoy things that I wanted to enjoy. I can expand on my studio. I can expand on the equipment. And back then, these were, we talking about, it was still a little bit of videotapes.
Right.
Those type of cameras. Camera was all big and goofy. You know what I mean? But I seen brothers doing it. So I was like, I gotta step my game up if I want to succeed at this. So, and that kind of right there was the beginning of the journey of where I'm at now.
You remember, can you recall your first shot, your first shooting?
I do recall my very first shooting. It was actually in the townhomes that we moved in. We shot in that whole area and in a laundromat. Like it was mostly in my house. We didn't know what we was doing. But we put it together and it looked pretty decent. Now, back then, there wasn't no YouTube.
Right.
So, you know, this is all starting to develop. You didn't have too many places that you could showcase your video. All we had was like the 24-hour, especially in Lynchburg, Virginia. All you had was your local radio show. And it took them many years to start putting hip hop on it.
Mm. That's crazy.
So how was you pause up, G? How was you able to get your demo out, basically? Like if you had the video, how were you doing? Because you know, most back in the days when people was trying to get down to hip hop, they were selling their own tapes out the trunks or word of mouth. Yo, pass this.
We were doing that. We would press them up. We was pressing them up. We were putting them in mom and pop stores. For back then, we had mom and pop stores. There were real vinyl stores. We would go leave them on consignment. We would put on local shows. I was hitting all the high schools. These were most of my team was still in high school.
Right.
When I came down there, like, you know what I mean? So I'm just grooming them. They had never, like me not leaving New York, they had never left Lynchburg.
Right.
So, you know, they growing up and so small. Lynchburg kind of reminds me of Roosevelt because everybody know each other. They all related. It's like Roosevelt, Freeport, Hempstead. It's all of that in one little community. So it's the same thing. So I felt at home. So, you know what I mean? So, but, you know, it's so small, it is what it is. It took us a second to get certain things allotted. So we did the high schools. We did the local radio shows. We did the local coffee shops and things like that. So people, you know, you start building your brand and they know who Glock George is because they grew up with him and his mom. And they know who this person is, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, I got another friend out there, Mikey D, who plays the bass, plays live instruments. Tony Cam provided us, we were able to start doing stuff. My man, DJ Blazing Blake, we started messing with Vibe 100 radio station, and we were starting to do other events where we would open up for artists, things of that nature. So we were building our own little buzz and getting things done. And we were doing it on a street level. Like then, everything was on a street level. Then, of course, it's the emergence of the internet. The internet starts to come into play. and then we started moving over onto that. That's what really kind of got me into really going hard on production. Because granted, coming from New York, I was nice, but you know, New York, you kind of become pigeonholed in a particular sound. So I'm a boom bap baby. I'm still to this day a boom bap baby. I love boom bap. KRS-One is my favorite MC. You know what I mean? So coming like that, you know what you're getting when you deal with me. So
I got a question. I got a question from the audience. The CEO of Live Radio wanted to know, what do you think of the future of the videography is headed in relation to the new technology?
Wow. Oh, well, that's such a great question. Now with all of the technology, first let me say this. It's accessible for everybody for independency. You can be independent if you get a nice, clean camera. Look at what y'all are doing right now. You have platforms that are privy to help you. All you got to do is keep the content coming. What y'all are becoming and being are content creators. So you're creating content for people. So with the technology of video cameras today, now you can use your iPhone. It's got 3 different cameras on the back of that. If you even the Androids have stepped up their phone things. People are doing actual movies with their phones at this point. They teach courses on how to do movies with your phone. So the technology nowadays is no excuse for you not to be able to do it. It's just what you got to do is come up with the idea and then start to put it into activation. Because everything is too easy. And not only that, but after you do it, you can load up to so many different platforms. I'm graduating with my master's in creative writing, right? So that whole course was about a script writing. And the reason why I took script writing is because I already had my bachelor's in film. So I needed something to marry it because I had the film, you know, we were doing stuff like Yankees and Yardies when I first got a camera. But that's when I got the bug, like I need to take that serious. And then went to school for that. And then when they start putting us on the cameras like this, and they're teaching you ISOs and depth of field and how to shoot angles and shoot in your your tic tac box, meaning there's a way of framing what you need to be doing. It opened up a whole new world, God, for me to be able to marry everything. And now I can just put it on platforms. I can put it on TikTok. I can put it on YouTube. I can put it on Facebook. And I create an audience, and now I can create a job for myself and others.
That's beautiful. I want to say, like, I've witnessed, you know what I'm saying, your art as far as videography. I've witnessed it, like you said, Yankees and Yardies, and different videos that you have shot, but also too, the event that we threw in Fayetteville, you videoed the whole thing where it was able to be captured of us having our community event.
Right.
And I think you did both. If I'm mistaken, you videoed both community events that we had. And that was a beautiful situation where we have recorded history of the things that we have done. So, but what made you want to go back to school to get that bachelor's in videography and your master's in these are the things that we're setting up, because I want the people to know that Bill Biggz is part of the Real2reel360 family. That's our videographer right there.
Indeed.
So he's part of our family. So you know.
So what? So just what's the question again, God?
What made you want to go back to school?
Well, God, in Lynchburg, when we was shooting Yankees and Yardies, I was sitting there and I had the camera equipment, and we didn't know any. We just my man had a script. We gathered the neighborhood together and we just shot it. And part of that process was so difficult because he's my man Spice the Far Eye. We still work together to this day. We plan on bringing Yankees and Yardies back from a different level, but we would argue so much back and forth. with just shooting that series. He used to like to do 1 million takes. Me, let's do 3-4 takes. Let's be done with it. Let's move on to the next thing. Nah, we need to shoot it again from this angle. And so we would bump heads all the time to the point where people would think we was gonna fight. but it was just us. We creatively would never, we just creatively just bump heads. One thing I realized in doing that, it was a benefit because it taught me, when you're working with film, you're gonna have to work with people. 2, it told me that I really didn't know what I thought I knew. So I was like, you know what? Instead of guessing and all of this, my wife was like, yo, you never went to school. And I was like, you're right. But, I'm thinking, I'm at the time I was, I want to say freedom, equality. I want to say I was about 46. Maybe 45. And then she was like, yo, you should try going back to school. And I was like, I don't want to go back to school. I'm 45. Who's going back to school at 45 years old? She was like, nah, you should do that. And she kept encouraging me. And I was like, you know what? You're right. What I got to lose? And so I filled out for Full Sail University, started the process. I even during that, it was a little bit of a struggle because I have a felony. So I'm thinking, they not gonna let an old felonist, they're gonna give me the run around, they're gonna give me a hard time. And for a minute it looked bleak, like it wasn't gonna happen. And then it happened. One day they called me, they was like, you've been accepted. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take full advantage of this opportunity. I'm not gonna play no games. One, when you young and you chasing the girls, you don't really care about school. And plus, we were learning high sciences that they wasn't teaching in school. So
no, we was teaching it in school.
We were the teachers in the school. So I was just like, school never interested me then, but I was like, I'm gonna take this serious. I'm gonna go learn film, so I don't have to have these type of arguments. And not only did I do it, but he went to school as well. And we both graduated. So, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Then I got a job working in the field, doing AV technical work. And then I was just like, I need to be able to write because I'm constantly waiting for him to bring me a script. And not that we don't, that I don't know how to write, because as an MC, you know how to write, but I never knew how to put it in script form.
Right.
And so once I learned that, I learned how to break it down and started developing little movies. And the jewel in that is after I write it, now I can go shoot it.
Right.
And then I mastered how to become a one-man band, because a lot of times I can't get people to come and help me. So I learned how to shoot on my own and be the actor, the cameraman, and everything, and then go edit it, put the music behind it. So, yeah.
I tell you,
part of that journey.
Hold on one second, guy. It's funny that you said that you didn't like school. How you didn't like school when you was an honor student? You know what I mean? Before you touch, you know what I mean? It's crazy because when he said that, like you said, with our journey, we battled educationally, like mentally.
Right.
We battled mentally. And that came from elementary all the way to getting knowledge of self. If he got a 92, I got to get a 93. If I got a 93, he had to get a 94. This was the push that we would do with one another. We would definitely use each other as the bar of success in different aspects.
Let me reword it then, God. It was my situation at home that made it difficult for me to be focused on school.
Right.
I was fighting
other demons.
I was fighting I was fighting a religion. Like, you know what I mean? And trying to help my people don't eat swine, because I believe that this information that we getting over here is right and exact. And how you as the baby gonna tell your dad, yo, you got it wrong. This is how it is. He's looking at me like, yo, you crazy. It wasn't too many years later that my father actually said you was right.
Right. May peace be upon them. You know?
Yes, indeed.
Lie. I'm gonna bug you. Now let's go back in time with the first cameras. Is you the big VHS tapes, or was you dealing with the small beta? The beta.
I actually started with the big VHS tapes. We had the actual VHS tapes. Those cameras actually could service as the VCR and the camera.
Right.
And that was in my house. My father actually, if I had to say it, truth be told, he was the root of it, because he would take us on trips and he bought these cameras and he would film us and he would let me film. So if I had to really pinpoint it, I kind of want to say he was the spark to that, though. You know what I mean? If I really think about it.
Do you have any still, like, as far as your archive to show it, you'll show your history?
I don't have the tapes. My mom has some tapes. You know, throughout history, they put everything in the garage, and then the garage becomes a storage space. And then if we don't want it, it's throw it out. Yeah, so it was, you know, she's still like that till this day.
Yeah. We got a question of one of the audience. What advice would you give to those looking to be a great producer or beat maker?
All right. Well, the thing is, practice every day. Get on your, if you love doing it and you have a machine, make sure you have your equipment. It's so easy today because you can go and get things like Adobe Audition, and you can download Cakewalk. So they have software that you can get for free. I know Fruity Loops and the earlier Reasons you can probably get. But if anything else, if you can afford it and you're working and you have a job, save up some money, then go get you an MPC. And this is a hardware software. With this piece of machine, with maybe $300, you can get a nice little studio setup with speakers, audio phase, microphone, and your DAW being your MPC. And then you just practice every day. There's tutorials. I have a league called the War Room. It's a beat battle league. Now, granted, we have some new brothers that that are coming up, but we also have some seasoned producers. I have a producer in our group, Maestro, who produces for Day 26, and he's working with Havoc right now. I have a producer in the group, Family Biz, who worked with Fred the Godson, rest in peace, and the Heat Makers. We have Slice, who's worked with Daylight. We have some major names in the room, but we have Johnny Juice in the room. We have Milo in the room. Yeah. So we have industry professionals that are in this chat room, Beat Battle League, and we grind. We practice every day. We push each other to the limit. Sometimes it can get a little crazy with how our brothers talk to each other, but it's all in fun and competition. We try not to let it get out of hand.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my physical Born P in that room.
Yes, he is. Born P is in that room. I taught Born P how to make beats. And me and Born P just had a battle the other day, and he took the crown. So I'm proud of that. Like, you know what I mean? He got nice with it.
Yeah, Born P has always been into music. He's always been into the beats, and he wasn't really like the lyric dude, but when it came down to that music, he always had the music. And I can't front, he used to kill me with that Whodini funky beat. You know what I'm saying? Born P, I know you're watching.
That's
I can't stand
the epitome of that question you asked, though. He's the epitome because he went and got the machine. He worked every day. I watched him work. He would hit me up, yo, how this sound? How that sound? And surround yourself with people who ain't gonna yes you to death.
Right.
Because then you ain't gonna get better. Surround yourself with somebody who's gonna tell you, yo, that sound like some hot trash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing I say, like, you reach out to other, you make it accessible for other individuals to grow in that process. Now, we've discussed like your music part and everything else, but also during that part, you transition into tattoos, making tattoos, doing tattoos.
Right.
How did that come about? I always knew that you was an artist for like to draw and things of that nature, but how did you get into becoming a tattoo artist?
I'm gonna be honest with you, God. In VA in Lynchburg, there ain't a whole lot of job opportunities. I was working at Ryan's and things of that nature, like little buffets, but they give you bare minimum down there. So you're talking about minimum wage, and minimum wage was like $5-6 when I was down there. So how's a man gonna feel like a man $5-6?
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, my earth was like, you could draw, and not only that, it wasn't just my earth, but it was Milo and Shakim. It was like, yo, God, you could draw. You should start doing tattoos. I was like, you know what? You're right. I should start doing tattoos. So what I did was I went out and started researching what it would take, and then I got in touch with Nike from Shirt Kings, who now has a tattoo shop. And you know, those are like my big bros. So he put me on to the Tattoo Bible, showed me a few techniques of things that I needed to go do, meaning videos and books I should go read. I did it. I got me a guinea pig, so to speak, and went to work. Work came out beautiful, and then that led from one thing, and I was able to build the income. I got really good at a really short, fast-paced time, and then I was in a few shops. I got into a few shops. I was able to teach my son, because my son graduated from art, so I was able to teach him, and now he does it. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. I don't tattoo as much anymore. I kind of let him do it because he done took it to the next level.
Okay. Also, too, people don't know that you do what they call screen printing on clothes, where you can design screen printing and everything else.
We got some things here to show off. I definitely want to show off. We do the shirts, God. We do screen printing. You know, we try to stay talented over here. We do custom, anything that you know you might want. We doing the artwork over here. My earth is a hell of a fashion designer, and she's making. I mean, she made this from scratch, guys. So she made this out of my old pair of jeans. So yeah, God, that's something that we've always been taught to do, God. Is, you know, I'm one of those brothers that you want to do something. We was taught, go buy that stuff and do it yourself, learn it. That's part of the education. Like when you can accomplish anything if you just go pick up a book about it, or it's now you got it at your fingertips. You can Google, you can YouTube it, anything you want.
Like I said,
you know, time to put the work in.
I've received like some Scullies over the years. When the pandemic hit, I got like 6-7 masks.
Face masks, that's right.
You know what I mean? I got hoodies. I got hoodies. I got a bunch of stuff.
We definitely appreciated the support
from the Bill Biggz and family. But it shows how the entrepreneur skills and things that you have, and the drive and the ambition that you have to always reinvent yourself.
Right.
And being in the facet of reinventing yourself, do you sit back and you be like, yo, I need to switch gears and move into this direction? Or, you know what I'm saying, I need to sit down and focus on this at this moment. You know what I mean? How do you switch gears so easily and fluently and be successful in all your undertakings?
I look at it like this, God. We don't have a whole lot of summers left. Just being honest, you know, the one thing guaranteed in life is for you to return to the essence. So I like to take advantage of every moment of every day. Like, there's something that should always be done. I'm never sitting still. I'm constantly moving. And if if I give one thing an hour, I'll give it a break. I'm a big gamer. Sometimes I'll just jump on the game, or sometimes I'll make a beat because that's kind of like my therapy. That to me, that's not work. That's fun. And but even going to school, like you just find time. I had 2 jobs and I was going to school and still find time to write scripts and still found time to make beats and still found time to spend time with my family. So if you want to do it, you'll juggle them hours around.
Right.
One thing's for certain, that's exactly how, when I think about it, how we developed this show.
Right.
We were doing other things outside of what we was doing. And then when we got together on another platform. And then the determined idea came where we was like, you know what everybody else is doing is good, but there's something that we feel was greater for us to achieve and attain. So when we started, networking and building with each other on the phone, it's like, yo, Wise, I said, what's up? We can do this. But not only can we do this, but this is the direction that I think we should be going. I said, well, you know what? Let's add on. Let's build it. I already got the studio here, got my DJ equipment here, doing the same thing. And I was like, yo, all right. So as we learning and we bugging, we going back and forth like, yo, it's like every show to me is an amazement because for each one, you pull something else from it and you add on to the next. Right. And this is how we've been climbing. So with that being said, what you've been doing, just what you have said, has given me more a different approach and a different sight. Because like you said, Allah taught everybody, says, learn a trade, go to school, learn to do, get that education and go get a trade and make your knowledge boom. It's just, we're not lazy. We're not lazy. I can't sit still too, God. I tell you the truth. My wife be like, yo, I'll be up 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning in the studio, whether I'm making beats or doing something with the show here that's gonna for the next segment. However, God be calling me like, what you doing? Man, I'm in the studio. You ain't sleep yet? No.
Me and Ja had this conversation before where back in the day, it was important for us to be smart and be educated. And somewhere down the line, it became cool to be stupid. It became cool to be dumb. It became cool to be ignorant. And if anybody gets anything out of this, yo, that's not the way. Like you're not going to go anywhere like feeling that way. And we get left behind. Like, yo, we got to step up the game and for me, I'm an open book, so I don't mind sharing. If somebody calls me and asks me for any information or tips or hits me up in my inbox, I'm answering. And I don't do that for no charge or nothing here, just because I want you to have it. I want you to excel, because if you excel, I excel. We all can excel. You know what I mean? And that's important to me. I seen y'all from the very beginning. That's why when Ja calls me, it says anything, yo, here. What will you need? I'm on it. I got you. Just give me a second.
No question. I tell you, it's funny. Like over the years, I've been blessed to be around some great people in my journey. You know what I'm saying? A lot in the entertainment business and a lot, in the street world, a lot in the education. Like I have my hand in so much and networking with so many different people that when we get to doing stuff like this here, it's like it's hard to be put in a box. It's hard to be put in a box. And truthfully honest, we have so many people lined up to do the show. We don't even remember who we got lined up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we don't do it right then and there, it's like if you like, yo, let me do it in this month or this month. We be sitting there trying to say, okay, we got somebody else to fill this slide or whatever the case may be. And it's not a knock to anyone. With you, it's been not when or whatever the case may be. It's time. It's time. You know what I'm saying? It's time. And I wanted to take this time to introduce, you know what I'm saying, the understanding to the knowledge and wisdom that you see on 360, on Real2reel360 has come full circle where you see the 1, 2, and the 3 right here. That's going to be a part of, you know what I'm saying, the media team for Real2reel360. We will be all down together April 8th in Fayetteville, you know what I'm saying, to do interviews with It's Karma, Miss Pat, you know, and a whole host of others. So for all individuals who are in the Fayetteville area, come out and meet Real2reel360. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
We definitely gonna bring it, and we're building our team, and we're coming strong. And just want to tell people, like, we can never be put in a box because there's too many elements to this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you say 360 degrees, you know what I'm saying? I honestly mean 360 degrees. There's more to us than just, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, yo, those are the gods. Indeed. That's one facet of who we are. You know what I'm saying? But we're educators. You know what I'm saying? We're entertainers. You know what I'm saying? We bring the truth to the people. So it's more than anything to just have you with us. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the time of having my brothers that I come up with and do this with. With Kay, me and Kay was on other people's platforms, and we was building their platform. That's how we got to this platform. Right. We was like, you know what I mean? Somebody else, they were doing their thing because they had me and Kay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And me and Kay would build on there, and we were mostly like the focal point of their platform or they show at that point. So it was like we could do that ourselves.
I seen y'all. I seen how y'all have grown. So like I said, y'all salute y'all brothers, man. Y'all get y'all flowers early. I seen how y'all and you just starting to get the controversy going. Y'all had the controversy in the grip show. I was like, okay, I'm glad they got that in and got it early. And I'm glad no other subjects came up where they was able to stay on, because I said, woo, that's a hot one right there. But shout out to Professor Griff,
I navigated through that.
Shout out to Griff. I'm gonna get them books too.
Absolutely.
Salute.
It's great, man, that again to have you a part of the team and everything, and we looking good for future endeavors and any aspect and adventures, man. So again, thank you for the flowers, but in return, we're gonna blossom you and bless you with your fruits that you've been doing. And listen, man, the advice or the wisdom you give out when people call you at a point where it could be a monetary and you giving it to them on the value of love, peace, and happiness, man. That's the best reward we get coming, because you see what happens in the products that you give by brothers coming back, brothers and sisters be like, you know what? Laquan did this for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so if I wouldn't be where I am if the God didn't show me this, that, and the third, if I ain't asked the questions. So always get your just due. It's beautiful, it's magnetic, and we're gonna be doing crazy. We're gonna be looking to do I know we gotta do our new video. We gotta take what we did with that intro. The God been like, yo, man, you just got your voice on there, man. I gotta get my
yo. You know what I'm saying? Like I told, don't get it twisted. I'll blow the dust off the mic for him. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, get it in there. Get it in there. You know what I mean? But
hey, yo, I'm telling you right now, whenever we have these shows and we end it and we have the little aftermath, it's off the chain. It's off the chain. Because we don't know how to act even while we on camera. So imagine what's going to happen when we off
camera. Right. You know what I'm saying? The fun that happens, it's fun, God, and that's the thing, man. It's positive energy. It's fun, and yo, you can't lose like that.
And again, it's like what we tell everybody, man. This show is a home away from home with true love, peace, and happiness in here. Fact. You know, the 12 Jewels is always here. And we strive to make sure we let everybody know who comes on as a guest, whether you first time, reoccurring, your home is here. You got a platform right here with the Real2reel360. So you know the deal, G. You got a home away from home right here, no matter what. You know, you here.
That's you here. It ain't even a home away from home now. He done got a room.
It's just like, yo, where my cup at? Where my mug at? Damn.
You got it. But see, you know, like I said, you know, with that, a lot of times people they be like, yo, I'm gonna put you on. You're gonna work with me. da da da, and then they move into a different direction.
Right.
You know, that's why it's easy to work with my family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why it's easy to work with my brothers, because it's nothing. You know what I mean? It's nothing, because if one eat, we all eat. That's the way we always been. You know.
I'm gonna share it from. Let me share it from a different perspective too, Ja. Like the thing, and this is just for your listeners to understand that when you help other brothers and you do something like that, you're not realizing that you building your portfolio, you building your resume.
Right.
And if you put down these things that somebody asked me to do a flyer. I got all your flyers that you asked me to do. Now I got a portfolio of flyers. So I can say, hey, I did, I can put that on my resume. I do flyers. You know what I mean? Or you never know. Like even with this music, you if you know somebody doing some music or doing beats, there's nothing wrong with going and sitting behind them and let me just study them. I don't mind that, I always allow them to do things like that. So, that's how you get things done, God, and you share with other brothers. It's just and you can add things to your portfolio and build yourself up by just sometimes helping out.
Right. Everything is not a dollar. Like I tell people, we're not slaves to the industry, and we're not slaves to individuals, because you can never like dangle a dollar amount in front of us and we're gonna jump. It has to fit right. It has to fit perfectly. Right. And that's the real
math. If it ain't dealing with the lessons in the thought,
right. And the thing is, too, I would like people to realize is like the money is monetary. It'll come. A lot of times, God, I'll go to. I don't have a problem with going to the temp agency doing a day's work to accomplish something else that I might need to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me, La. Excuse me, La. Born P, Funky Beat is not the best song ever. I just want to get that out there.
Over there.
You know what I mean? I love you, Born P. You my blood. I love you, but Funky Beat, you made me hate Whodini. Thank you and very much. And I tell you right now, Born P.
I do like Whodini though. I'm messing with you on Whodini, but maybe not Funky Beat. That ain't the one. I might have to go with One Love.
One Love.
Yo, my thing is this here. He hates on the fact that, what I'm saying, I've always been a big MC Shan fan. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. To me, growing up, you know what I'm saying, Shan ate up LL Cool J and anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I hated KRS-One doing what he did.
Chris put the silence on Shan. I gotta be
honest. Hey, we're gonna have to cut this show short because we're not gonna sit here and disrespect. You know what I'm saying? One of the first.
Put the hands on. You get the paws on Shan.
Hey, MC Shan, I will say, has to been one of the first kings of hip hop during that period in time before KRS-One, you know what I'm saying, disrespect.
Yes, he was. I will give him that. He was the king at one. The bridges, though, the bridge rather was when
the bridge dropped
joints.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
It's even before then because a lot of things weren't televised.
Right. And then you got to think about Juice Crew All Stars.
No, don't get me wrong. I am a fan.
All right.
When we are talking about that history, Chris came through like
hey,
Fresh Queen building.
We need a commercial break. we need a commercial break. We will not discuss.
Get the bridge over.
Oh man.
But it's all love though, you know what I mean? And I like to have interviews like this here. I like to have the family setting like this. Also too, while we have like a few minutes left, I want to make sure everybody understand Tuesday we will have Eddie Levert Jr. and L.A. Jackson on Real2reel360. And
I gotta put it up. After that, no.
It's crazy. All right. We got Eddie Levert Jr. and we have L.A. Jackson that will be on. And then this week coming up also too, we have Miss Pat, you know what I'm saying? The Lady of Soul. that'll be on Real2reel360. All right, and those of you who have not heard Juice Crew All Stars, you know what I'm saying? You need to check your catalog. You understand me? Check your catalog. Check your hip hop history. You know what I'm saying? Because Juice Crew All Stars was banging way before the symphony. All right, I'm just letting you be known, MC Shan.
You don't think Cool G Rap was better than MC Shan?
No, sir. We're not gonna blaspheme. That was Kane's rival. That was not MC Shan's rival. That was Kane's rival.
I mean, speaking from the Juice Crew perspective, Shan was nice, but
he was the king of the Juice Crew. He ran the Juice Crew. Cool G Rap, and all the rest of them. There was his sons in there. Craig G.
I don't know, but was he as nice as Shantae though?
Shantae. Everybody wrote Shantae lyrics. How you gonna say that?
I mean,
you can't see now we're talking about something different. How can you be a real true MC if somebody pins your lyrics?
You can't. But from what I understood, she never pinned. She always wrote her own. Now she said she got something.
Now Kane pinned her lyrics. Kane pinned her. You know what I'm saying? So we can't go there. You know what I mean? Like we let that go. And truthfully, you know what I'm saying? MC Shan was a monster, man. Come on.
He was. No, don't get me wrong.
James, stop this crazy thing.
I love Shan and TJ Swan together. I love Shan and TJ Swan, but I'm just saying.
Born just hates the fact that MC Shan is still MCing and is not getting the props that he deserved. You know what I mean? And that's just all it is to it. But we're coming down to the last 3 minutes of the Real360.
Little hip hop conversation there.
Little hip hop conversation to make sure that y'all check y'all catalog. When you're talking about real MCs, we're talking about real MCs from back in the days. We're talking about the Treacherous Three with the Kumo D's. That was a monster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Cash was a monster. You know what I'm saying? The Furious Four, you know what I'm saying? How can we not?
And bring it back to that.
And it's crazy. And I say it right now on this show. People can say whatever they want to, but Long Island sound took over in the mid to late 80s. When you have
people to say that, what they have to understand is EPMD set the trail, the blaze.
And this is what I'm saying.
Come on.
You had the greatest MC of all times, which is Rakim. Then you had Keith Murray, which is originally from Roosevelt, Long Island. Let's get it up there. You know what I mean?
Sugar Bear. Sons of Berserk.
Yeah. It was like you said, leaders. You got to say leaders. You got to say seriously fine, because the most
Daddy IU.
The most underrated MC that would give Buster his business was Sirius. From Seriously Fine, Sirius was a ill MC. Period. Lyrically, we can get Johnny Juice on the line here. Tell you, it's going down.
Yeah, right.
If Sirius is in that booth, he's putting fire to it, man. So it was that Long Island sound that really pushed. You know what I'm saying? To me, pushed hip hop into. You know what I'm saying? You can't forget De La. You can't forget Chuck and Public Enemy. You can't forget,
and Bismarck was on the island for a minute too.
Yeah, and Biz and it's so many MCs that took this sound. Yo, remember the very first Strong Island song, the JVC.
JVC, baby.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality, you know what I mean? Not knocking Medina, not knocking the desert, Brooklyn and Queens and Uptown.
I just want to say this, man. Roosevelt, man, we a borough too. Nassau County and Suffolk County are boroughs too. First of all, I'm gonna say it right here and I'm gonna leave it alone. Brooklyn and Queens is on Long Island. On Long Island. So if they're a borough, we a borough.
That's it. There's 4 counties of Long Island. There's Kings, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. If you don't know, now you know. Do your history.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
fact.
And bring it back. Yo, K, take us up out of here, K. You know what I'm saying? Playing that MC Shan.
Oh, to DJ Flash.
Yes, sir. Hey, yo, shout out to Grandmaster Vic, too, who used to show mad love to Lord's Island Cats.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Real 360, but don't go nowhere. The after party is next. Thank you, our brother. Peace to Allah's 5% nation, to all the human families of the planet Earth. On behalf of my co-host, Josh and Allah, Mr. PhD himself, and our newest affiliate, but always a brother in God, true indeed, Laquan Allah. I am DJ K Wise, and we say peace.
Peace.